Today's book is Vivienne in Paris, written by Maria Castellucci Moore, illustrated by Emanuela Manello, and read by Maria Castellucci Moore.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me, Maria Castellucci Moore with Vivienne in Paris, releasing May 2nd. And I wrote this book through an inspiration from my 4 children, and also just learning that happiness is unique to each and every individual. So I hope this story sparks some interest and curiosity within yourself. And I'm excited for you to come on this journey with me. Here we go. Vivienne in Paris. Bonjour, I'm Vivienne. Today was a day unlike any other. I roamed the streets of my city and saw it in a new light. I can't wait to share with you what I discovered. It was a crisp, sun-drenched morning in Paris. The birds were chirping and singing the sweetest melodies. My cue to rise and shine for the day began with church bells ringing throughout the city. Outside my balcony, I could see the bustle of the city streets and the frantic humming of passerbys, waves of people, buses, taxis, and bikes, and dogs being dragged by their owners to the next errand. On the far corner of Rue Saint-Honoré, I noticed the delightful exchange of friends chatting at the outdoor bistro, leisurely enjoying their morning espresso, not noticing the hustle of the world around them. Cameras flashed on each city street as tourists captured their perfect Parisian photo. It felt like a splendid day for a bike around town. After all, it was Sunday, our day of leisure in Paris. And what was a girl to do but play tourist for the day? My first stop was visiting my grand-père, who was reading Le Figaro, his favorite Sunday paper, on his preferred bench in the Luxembourg Gardens. We sat together as I tried to catch a glimpse of the articles he was reading. He always seemed so engrossed in the news of the day, but today he appeared more interested in my company. Vivienne, my grandfather asked, do you remember a time when you felt most alive, zestful, full of spirit and sparkling with enthusiasm? Well, I wondered. No, I can't recall, Pappy. When was the last time my heart skipped a beat? When was the last time I felt true happiness, unique to me? Wondered Vivienne. I'd like you to ride through Paris. Go to your usual favorite places, but this time take notice of what your heart and body tell you, Pappy shared. I set my itinerary in my mind. I hopped on my mint green bike, equipped with a basket on the front in case I found some treasures along my way. Perhaps I would bump into my regular Sunday crowd. Fifi at Fifi's Fleurs, Laurent at the Opera House, Charlotte at my favorite boulangerie, Ava at the yummiest cheese shop in all of Paris, and of course, Dean at Borsellino's hat shop. As I began my adventure, my stomach grumbled with hunger. The bumpy cobblestone streets made my stomach rumble for the warm goodness of Charlotte's French bread. Wafting from around the bend, I could just taste it on the tip of my tongue. Bonjour, Charlotte. I've come for my usual Sunday morning croissant. As I bit into Charlotte's croissant, I tasted the buttery beauty and noticed its particular goodness that morning. I smiled. My tummy was happy. I really tasted it in all its glory. The Palace Garnier, Paris's most famous opera house, was just around the corner. Surely Laurent was standing outside greeting guests for the Sunday matinee. Perhaps he would let me in for a sneak peek of today's ballet performance, Le Parc, just until intermission. Bonjour, Laurent, I said with an affectionate smile. Is there an extra seat for me this morning? Why, of course, oui, mon chéri, for you, yes, replied Laurent. Oh, merci, Laurent, I will not overstay my welcome, I reassured him. The entrance of the Palace Garnier took my breath away. Its gold-drenched decor and marble-covered walls, floors, and pillars made me feel like the prima ballerina of the show. The graceful movements of the dancers and the violins playing in the background not only touched my heart, but made it flutter. I heard the violins in a way I had never heard them before. All in unison, their melodies took my body on a quest. I immediately felt the calm, the grace, and the treasure of dance and music. After leaving the opera house, it was time for a snack. Ah, yes, Ava at Fromagerie Laurent Dubois was a necessary stop in one of my favorite neighborhoods, Saint-Germain-des-Prés. At this point, riding my bike seemed to draw my attention more so than any other day. Pedaling over the century-old cobblestone streets flagged my eye, and I felt the breeze through my hair with a sense of freedom and delight. As I walked in, the waft of every type of cheese immediately hit me, an undoubtedly good hit. A pungent scent I had never noticed before. Un con de brie, s'il vous plaît? I delightfully asked. I couldn't wait to sink my teeth into this creamy, decadent treat. I just wish I had some leftover croissant from Charlotte's boulangerie stashed away. My taste buds burst with happiness, and my nose journeyed through the sense of the regions. Missy Ava, I beamed. I continued on to my most beloved hat shop in all of Paris, Borsellino on 6 Rue de Grenelle. Its vintage green storefront draws me in each time I pass by. Hats in all textures and colors grab my attention. Today, I noticed the fall-inspired fabrics of tweed, wool, straw, leather, and velvet. Their colors and hues of mustard, olive, teal, and winter white were displayed so beautifully in the window. Bonjour, Vivienne, echoed a voice from the back of the store. Voulez-vous essayer un chapeau? Asked Dean, the dapper-dressed, charming shopkeeper. I couldn't resist but touch how soft and fine these fabrics felt in my hands. Some felt fuzzy, furry, and soft, while others were shiny, rough, crisp, and smooth. The made-to-measure fedora and the straw and felt chapeau were splendid gifts to bring to Pappy. I went with the soft and fuzzy winter white fedora for my grand-père. Merci, Dean. Last but definitely not least was Fifi's fleurs. A bouquet to bring home to Mama was a surefire way to plant a smile on her face to conclude the day. I pedaled all the way to Rue Henri Monnier in the 9th arrondissement to gather a bouquet de fleurs. I was starting to feel different since my talk with Pappy earlier that morning. The more I noticed my senses, the greater joy I felt in my heart and body. I was amazed how different I felt doing the same things I did every Sunday. Bonjour, Vivienne. Comment puis-je vous ajouter? Fifi asked. Before I could respond, the fragrant perfume of sweet peas, peonies, garden roses, snapdragons, irises, and lilies filled my nose. I slowly walked to the back of the shop, passing every color of the rainbow. My heart skipped a beat. I couldn't think of anything else but how glorious it was to be surrounded by the sweet smells, colors, textures, and delicate blooms that all came from the earth. I was in heaven, and my body was doing flips inside. I embraced Fifi. This is it, I gleefully shouted. What's it? Replied Fifi. This, all of this. This is exactly what Pappy was referring to. Fifi looked at me with peculiar eyes. I was bursting with jubilation. My grand-père asked me if I had ever felt that zeal, zest, and spark. I hadn't until now. Flowers, the sight, the smells, the beauty that surrounded me covered my skin in goosebumps. So grateful for my enthusiasm, Fifi filled my heart and mind with knowledge about flowers, and one in particular that meant a great deal to the city of Paris, the iris. The iris symbolizes hope, cherished friendship, and valor, and is the inspiration for the fleur-de-lis, which symbolizes the royal family of France, she noted. She proceeded to share with me how she found her love of flowers. Flowers are linked to a person's happiness, both immediate and long-term. Flowers can make you happy by triggering your happy brain chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. My mouth hurt from the permanent smile planted on my face. Fifi elaborated that flowers each have their own meaning and symbolism. Roses represent love, daisies represent happiness, and lilies represent support or healing. Her commentary on flowers and all that these blooms represent truly sent me soaring with appreciation and love for what I was seeing and smelling. Please prepare your prettiest bouquet of seasonal blooms for my maman, I eagerly requested. I couldn't wait to run home and share my revelation. Oh, and a pit stop at the twinkling Eiffel Tower with my blooms tucked neatly in my basket was in order. What a Sunday. Au revoir. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope you all enjoyed Vivienne in Paris, and I hope it makes you think about your own happiness journey and what this story can do for you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to share. And I have 3 questions that I'd love to leave you with. Number 1, which of your 5 senses do you identify with most? Number 2, have you ever felt more connected after listening to your body and your heart? And number 3, what makes you feel most alive? Can you think about a time and how it made you feel? Thanks again.